Hey everyone, welcome back. After a week's hiatus, we are back with another wrestling review. With me once again, we have Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, and now wrestling. Make sure you go check out his channel, give him a sub, help him out, help us out, help everybody out. Let's just help each other and create a better world with wrestling.
Yeah, Wrestling World.
Wrestling World.
That's like Water World, but wrestling.
But wrestling. New Japan World.
Nice.
All right. So with the intro out of the way here, we are talking about Impact's Rebellion, filmed right here in the city of Toronto. Unfortunately, I was not able to go to the event. Campo, I guess you didn't go to the event either.
Well, we kind of planned that we were going to go, and then we got Forbidden Door tickets, and everything after that was just like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? But we may be going to Slammiversary. That's still up in the air.
Yeah, and or the other one that's back here.
Yes.
There's another one at Rebel in, I don't know, August.
Yeah. I have it. Emergence? No.
Emergence.
Yeah.
Anyways, we digress.
We digress. So, Impact has been on a roll as of late. They've been putting out some good shows, and let's see how this one holds up. We start off with a couple pre-show matches. We had Champagne Singh and Shira defeating the team of Heath and Rhino.
Yeah, this is where Heath and Rhino belong.
On the pre-show.
On the pre-show. And it was.
I mean, Rhino can still go for a man who's in his like close to 50s.
Yeah, and for a guy that's the most awkwardly shaped person I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know how to describe him.
He's Tomohiro Ishii with long hair.
Yeah, but fatter.
Yeah.
This match was actually fine. I actually really like the whole Champagne Singh thing.
Yeah.
Where they're making him seem like he's trying to buy his way to wherever he's going, and he has his little bodyguard. I actually like that.
He's Jinder Mahal's cousin.
Yeah. Okay. Keep it going, Canadians.
That's it. There was a lot of Canadian representation on this show.
No, they're all Canadians in this company, basically.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott D'Amore.
Except Eddie Edwards.
I mean, other than that, it was your typical pre-show tag team match. Nothing really.
It was fine, but it genuinely, like, I was not upset. I was like, okay, we're going somewhere.
Yeah. Next we had I don't know why this was on the pre-show because it was such a good match. The Coven of Kylan King and Taylor Wilde putting up the Knockouts Tag Team Championships against the Death Dolls of Jessica and Rosemary.
So in a review that we made, or a State of Wrestling, where we may or may not have seen this pay-per-view, and we don't know yet, Taylor Wilde is genuinely really good as a character and as a wrestler, and I don't think we've seen this from her until this match.
Yeah.
And
she really carried this match. Her and Rosemary put on.
Kylan King is really good too.
Yeah.
But Rosemary is like a special talent for Impact where it seems like they could just throw her into anything and she can perform. Make it work. Jungle Juice was so bad in this that I know we always make jokes and it was kind of like a long running joke.
But she doesn't fit in.
No, she doesn't. And I like to point out something I never noticed because this match was actually good and I don't want to sit here and
this was a good match.
Poo-poo all over it, but she's so I don't even know if she's gotten bigger, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but she's gotten so big to the point where she struggles to do any moves that involve her moving her arms in front of herself. So a lot of the moves where she like did an arm drag or something, you could see she was literally just putting her arm out and the other person is doing all the work. Because she literally can't move her arms. When she does a slam, she has to like let go prematurely because she can't get all the way around.
The other person has to throw themselves on the mat.
And it kind of took me out of it a bit.
Yeah.
Mind you, the other three, she's not like obviously not the worst thing we've ever seen. I mean, Jade Cargill's pretty bad.
Yeah. Nia Jax is pretty bad too.
Yeah. And
if you want to compare apples to apples here, but
and that's fair. And I think there's obviously a talent there. I think maybe she should work on it a bit.
Yeah, a little bit on the in-ring abilities because both we'll see her husband a little later on and he's like in the same situation.
Yeah, and good. This was a good match.
Yeah, it was still fun. I still
surprised they chose us to be on the pre-show, but however, when we get through the rest of these matches, it's very understandable why this is on the pre-show.
This card was stacked. It was a really stacked card, and it was actually pretty good. And Kylan King and Taylor Wilde, they retained the championships.
Rightfully so.
Right. I even put Rosemary's talents are being wasted with Jessica right now.
Yeah. And without Taya Valkyrie there, they seem like a very odd
It's
team.
missing something. Yeah, it feels like it's missing something.
Yeah.
But they, she just disappeared. They don't know where she is. I
mean,
guess they don't watch Impact.
I
or
applaud.
Sorry, AEW.
I applaud the kayfabe, but also I don't.
Yeah, they take it a little too far. So with that, we end the pre-show, which was fine for what it was, and then we head straight into the main card. The first match, what a banger of a match. We have Ace Austin and Chris Bay defending the Impact Tag Team Championships against the Motor City Machine Guns in an Ultimate X match.
But this match was like so good. Like
it was on a different level of good.
There was no reason for this match to be this good.
This was the Chris Sabin. They were saying that he was in the very first Ultimate X match. This is the first time since like 2019 or 2018 that the tag belts have been defended in an Ultimate X match.
And
so
you can see
special.
You can see once again the reason for the stripping of titles. There's seeds being planted, and we'll see this again in our next review. But with the Motor City Machine Guns and like accidentally kicking each other all the time.
Once again.
I think it's awkward that you took such an absolutely legendary team, one of the greatest modern teams that exists, and you finally got them back together, and now your only goal is to split them apart. I find that very strange.
Yeah.
However, this match was fantastic.
And it's really showcasing the up-and-coming talent that is Ace Austin and Chris Bay. As solo competitors, they never really had that factor to them, but now as a tag team and part of the Bullet Club,
the Bullet Club adds a lot.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of name value and recognition to them. And this was like this is a fantastic match. Ace Austin and Bay retain. This is the first time the Motor City Machine Guns have lost in an Ultimate X match.
And you know what? The Ultimate X thing is usually not my favorite cup of tea, but it worked really well here. Minus when Chris Bay got the titles, because there was when he couldn't get the last belt off, you could see that
they were trying
Shelley could have got him, but just was like stalling for time. Like he could have just kicked him down, but he didn't. But overall, I think you know what, it worked.
Yeah.
Tell me about another match. Well, tell me another good one.
Right after that, we get Dirty Dango, Joe Henry, and Santino Marella. The return of Santino Marella, first time in 9 years back in the ring against the design of Diener, Angels, Sami Callihan, and Khan, a 4-on-3 handicap match.
Number one.
We need Dango and Thing as a
permanent.
Yeah.
They're the Alex Wright and Disco Inferno. of Impact. Okay. Digressing. We did not care about the storyline to begin with.
No.
But
we're really not big on Joe Henry either.
No, but it actually played out pretty well, the actual storytelling for this match, especially the way it gets finalized. But this match had no business, like literally zero business, being as entertaining as it was. Because I forgot Santino Marella can wrestle.
He's actually really good.
How behind him this crowd was. It was loud.
Well, when the Cobra he's a local guy, right? Like, yeah, the Cobra came out. Like, the crowd absolutely popped huge for that.
They were going Cobra, Cobra, and then he got it out, you know?
Yeah.
And then at the end...
But even Dango too, he's underrated in the ring too.
He is. Joe Hendry's pretty good too. I'm not going to know. I'm just not a big fan of what he had going on, but I like where they're going now.
Yeah, they have a good...
I love the selling. They won the match, but we'll get to how it happens. When he goes to lift up, when Dango goes to lift up Morella's hand because he has the Cobra on it, he gets scared.
He gets scared. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to touch it.
But yeah,
it was fun. I had fun with this match, and that's
it was actually a solid match. Like especially towards the end, it really picked up.
And I think this is a good case for Santino for the Hall of Fame. I think he deserves it. I really do.
I think so. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, it's late, guys.
Storyline. Sami Callihan turning on
the design.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of the design to begin with, but I think you set this up properly it was done very WWE-esque, but they set it up properly for this turn, which worked well. They gave him his bat to use against Santino Marella, and when he got the bat in his hands,
He used it on who did he use it on? Diener? On Diener, yeah.
But it all came back to him that he's not one of these guys. The bat made him remember that
he's his own.
He's the crazy freaking whatever psycho killer, whatever his name is. And I think it actually gave relevance to him as a character again.
It's starting to progress his character a little bit more. He was kind of
Callahan was getting stale for years. He's been like middling. He's become like Eddie Edwards, where he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was very surprised by this match. I liked the way a lot of the stuff went.
Yeah, and Santino they did it right because Santino got the win with the Cobra. The crowd just popped huge.
Imagine knowing what the crowd wants and giving it to them.
Yeah, what a concept, eh? Pro wrestling. Book it right. Next, before we get into the next match, we had this amazing promo by Tommy Dreamer. I don't know if it was a work or if it was a shoot.
No, it's true.
His mother is really...
That's why he's taking time off.
Okay. Because like you could feel it in his voice that he was like upset and like it was such a good promo. Like what's his name behind him started crying. What's his name?
Uramura or
Bhupinder.
Bhupinder's great.
Yeah. But you could see Bhupinder like starting to like get teary-eyed and I'm getting like emotional just talking about it. Like it was such a good promo by Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, it must have been really, really awkward for Kazarian and Killer Kelly, who were standing right in front of the camera and had to like stand there for the whole time.
Yeah.
Because you can't laugh or anything because then it makes it look bad. And also you're trying not to cry. So it's like.
But that's when pro wrestling storylines work the best, is when you add that little element of real life to it.
Yeah.
And it kind of blurs the lines between kayfabe and reality kind of thing. And that's where pro wrestling works the best. But moving on, we had Eddie Edwards versus PCO. What more can be said about PCO? Holy jeez, this guy.
Yeah,
almost 60 years old, doing moonsaults off the top turnbuckle to the outside.
This guy is working so many days a week.
Yeah.
He's definitely not cheap. Like to get him at an indie show is costing people because like he's working so much. He's doing New Japan Strong. He's doing Impact. He's showing up on MLW, showing up at GCW. Like,
yeah, his contract with Impact is not an exclusive. He's free to go take other bookings.
And well, he's a legend at this point.
Yeah.
And wow, do you know what? I'm an Eddie Edwards denier. This was a good match.
Yeah. You put Eddie Edwards against the right opponent, he can have a good match.
He's very good at in-ring storytelling, and he's very good at taking a bump.
Yes. And
mind you, it was a casket match, and I do not like those.
Yes.
But the shittiness, the real feeling that the match carried, and the crappy lookingness of the casket added so much to this in terms of like feel value. Like it felt dirty. Like it just felt like a dirty match.
A dingy indie show, yeah.
And it worked. There were so many big spots where they fell off the ramp or they jumped over the ropes.
Yeah.
Pretty
Didn't
hard
PCO
hitting.
do a tope over the top? Like
yeah, he did like a bunch, man. This guy just topes over everything. He also did a moonsault.
He did the moonsault from the top turnbuckle to the outside.
And he did it twice.
Yeah.
He did it off the ramp with such a small gap to land between the stairs and the barricade.
And that's not the only time we'll see that tonight, too.
And that bothered me a lot. After I saw that in this match, I was like, every other time something came up, I'm like, they're going to land on the stairs. Oh my God, I don't want to look.
Yeah.
Because those stairs are sharp. I don't know if you noticed, they're not real metal. They're like wood.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could see like how sharp the corners are anyways.
Yeah.
Not that wood is sharper than metal, but I'm just saying they look dangerous.
Yeah.
The work in this match is good, man. Anyone who says PCO is not good, Putty, you're an idiot.
You're wrong, yeah.
And the makeup they gave him for tonight's show was great. Like, number one, can we also point out that I know it's just the Rebel, the nightclub, the way it looks, but the way that the lights change and everything looked for the matches and the screens were set
So
up. This is the best production value I've ever seen.
For those who don't know, Rebel Nightclub it's an actual nightclub here in Toronto.
It's a huge nightclub in terms of nightclub standards, but in terms of wrestling venue standards, it's quite small.
Yeah, but it is also a legendary nightclub here in the city. It used to be called Sound Academy. It used to be called the Docks. It is one of the best concert venues in the city because of the lighting, and that showed tonight in terms of the wrestling as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, next we get a 3-way match.
Wait, who went over?
PCO. I said it already. PCO went over. So I think this feud is finally done.
If it has to be.
Yeah.
Because I heard there's rumors that PCO wants to fight Steve Macklin.
Oh, okay. Bert Macklin, FBI.
Bert Macklin, FBI.
PCO, like you're saying, going back to what you're saying about they have the ability to turn PCO into an Undertaker type of character without taking it too serious.
They can, because he's already set up for that. If they want him to go dark, he can go dark. But right now he's such a face. There's no point in
going dark. Yeah, absolutely. So we get a 3-way match. It's an elimination match, actually, which I prefer better, between Trey Miguel, Jonathan Gresham, and Mike Bailey. So the setup to this was Gresham and Bailey were supposed to have a series of matches that determined the number one contender, and they could never determine who the number one. So they just ended up putting them both into the match with Trey Miguel.
Right idea.
Yeah.
I mean, so
finally Gresham is getting that little bit extra push.
Yes. So the Gresham thing I like, because he deserves to be in a title picture. We didn't talk about this actually on State, but the awkward situation that Mike Bailey's in, where it was looking like they were going to move him up. They have him facing guys like Tanahashi, and
now he's back in the X division.
Now he's back in the X division, where you could clearly tell they didn't want him there anymore. Mind you, all three of these guys were great. I think this was the match for me that showed me what a good wrestler Trey Miguel is, because I think if you've been listening to me talk about him over the last couple of reviews, I don't know what to make of him. He's sometimes
you weren't too
good,
high on him.
He's sometimes bad.
Pardon the pun.
He's just kind of like a wrestler that takes advantage of the cheating opportunities.
Yeah.
But in this match, he really had to wrestle.
Have you had a chance to go back and watch any of this stuff he did with the Rascals?
I have not, but now we know why his green spray paint.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you didn't figure that out, because you should have known that. But however, he had to do a lot of really good work in this.
Yeah.
Because
he got both Trey Miguel retains, and he got both eliminations.
Yeah. And they were teaming up on him throughout the majority of the match.
Yeah.
So he had to fight his way out of that on top of it.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, like how they're really pushing Trey Miguel right now really hard in this, like, as
deserved,
the face,
though.
Yes, as the face of the X division, which is deserved. I think Trey Miguel is going to have a good long run. I think, I don't know if you know, but Impact has this thing called Option C, where they can give up the X Division Championship for a shot at the world.
For a shot at the world title. Yeah, that's what Kazarian did.
And I have a feeling Trey Miguel is going to get a few more wins under his belt and maybe take a shot at Bert Macklin.
Bert Macklin, FBI. Spoilers for ahead, but don't worry about it. Continue.
Yeah. And other than that, it was just a fantastic X Division match. Like this match reminded me of those old school WCW cruiserweight matches.
Yeah, it was, and we know Gresham can go.
Yeah.
And like he's a little bit ahead of both of these guys, but like anytime you need a strong filler for a match, is what we're learning is Mike Bailey. Like you need someone to take over a spot or to fill a third spot in a match. Throw in Mike Bailey.
And Trey Miguel goes over. He retains. Another really, really good match. Next we go into something I was really looking forward to. Team Dreamer versus Team Bully. Hardcore war match. It's kind of like a War Games type of match, except it's not in a cage. But it's the same idea. On Team Dreamer, you had Tommy Dreamer, Bhupinder Gujar, Frankie Kazarian, Killer Kelly, and Yuya Uemura against Team Bully, which was Bully Ray, Brian Myers, Kenny King, Masha Slamovitch, and Moose. Why is Moose still being put in these positions?
Okay, you know what? he's the only downside of this match, and he knew what to do. He came in. If you really look at the breakdown of this match, obviously it's like every countdown type of match where the person coming in gets their 2 seconds. But those first two guys they're the only two that really got a real showcase because they had to spend the whole time just the two of them in there, right? So, and I think they handled it well.
So Team Bully had the advantage, so they get the first. They always get the handicap advantage, I guess is what you call it.
So it was Moose and Kazarian,
right? And then you had Brian Myers come in, and then Bhupinder. Then you had Kenny King come in, and surprisingly, you had Kylan King come in after that.
Killer Kelly.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But hold on, let's stop here for a second. So Killer Kelly comes in with a staple gun and starts going ham on everybody with the staple gun.
Staples in the
herself in the head. And it was just like the match was already good, but this was the point where I was like, holy crap, this match is amazing. And then we hear some music kick in, and guess who it is?
It's Masha.
And this is like, first of all, I didn't expect her to be on Bubba's team. I really didn't. But it works so well. And her goddamn screaming in Russian drives me crazy. I love it. She's so insane. And I cannot stress enough that they need to have an absolutely insane feud between Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovitch.
Yes.
There's no way you cannot do this. Like, it has to happen.
Like, I'm excited for this. I am on board the Killer Kelly train. Like, she's like quickly becoming one of my favorite female personalities in wrestling.
Masha Slamovitch took a chair, held it behind her, and did a moonsault off the top of the ropes to the outside and landed on everybody with the chair.
With the chair, yeah. Like this is insane. Like, this was a hardcore match done right. Like, this is the way hardcore matches.
It had all the appeal of an AEW style hardcore match with still the softness and kayfabiness of a WWE hardcore match.
Yeah, there was one point where Kazarian was on the top rope and he does that cutter through the table, and
the tables didn't break. But you see this smart setting up right from the get-go. Kazarian was in there outside the ring setting up tables for later. He's like, we got to get them done now. Don't waste time. Let's just get it out of the way. Uemura, whatever his name is fantastic. They need to start pushing this guy. He is this company's Takeshita, and if they don't take advantage of it, he's going to be gone. And not just that, Bhupinder is so good.
Yeah.
We saw him 2 times now, 2 back-to-back pay-per-views where he was really good.
And he really impressed. He's already on the short list for Rookie of the Year or Breakout Star of the Year.
Yeah, I would say so. I think he's been fantastic. And I can't say more good things about this match. Bubba Ray comes in and wrecks house when he comes.
My favorite is towards the end of the match, Bully Ray's trying to climb the ladder to do the splash and he's yelling at the referees, and all the referees gang up on him.
Oh, they beat the crap out of him too.
Yes.
And then when Tommy Dreamer goes to climb the ladder, they're all holding the ladder for him.
Yeah.
And I think that's good storytelling because everyone is just tired of Bubba Ray.
Yeah, they're tired of his bullshit, right? But yeah, they're tired of it. And
they're using Bully Ray properly.
Yeah.
And the less wrestling we have to see from Tommy Dreamer, the better.
Yeah. I think this was more like, from what I see, it's a showcase for Kaz. It was a showcase for the 2 ladies. And it was a showcase for Bhupinder.
I think it kind of showed off everybody minus Moose and the 2 old guys at the end. Yeah, Brian Myers is just always going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you had Brian Myers and Moose, but not the good hands,
this is why I realized it at the end. The reason he didn't have the good hands was so that he could have them run out to help because it's no disqualification,
and make it a 7 on,
right?
Yeah, and make it a 7 on 5, which is smart booking. It's smart storytelling. It was good. And then they still beat the crap out of them. Tommy Dreamer gets the splash from the ladder onto Bully Ray through the table. And Dreamer wins.
Somebody come out to help them who fought the good hands?
No, I would have written it down.
That's why I don't know why I had that in my head. I'm wrong, obviously, but I felt like someone came running out.
No, that's right after that was when the refs gang up on Bully.
Well, they played the tactics, which I liked, right? Team Dreamer, at one point when the 4 of them were out there before Dreamer came in, they had everyone outside the ring and they weren't letting anyone get into the ring. They were teaming up on everyone, and it was such a smart move because it makes the wrestling feel like real because it's logical. It's not like some dumb WWE thing where
one guy's sleeping behind the mat while the other two are in the ring.
Smart.
Hiding.
Hey, good pay-per-view so far.
This is a really good match. I really enjoyed this match. Like, this whole show, Impact's been on fire. Like, it's been nuts. And then
it feels, sorry, I know you want to go there, but it feels legitimate when you have two women in the ring that are going as hard as they were, that weren't scared to fight the men. It felt real, not like the way Liv Morgan feels phony when she does hardcore things.
It doesn't look believable. Killer Kelly
looks like a freaking murderer, and Masha Slamovitch is like, just get out of her way.
Yeah, I love them. They're both they're both amazing. They're like two of my favorite, like, they're
probably two of my favorite, period. They're in my top 10, both of them now.
Yeah. And like you said, I can see a Slamovitch Kelly feud
that blows off in a really hardcore match
and end up in a number one contender match for the
what was their cage match called that they used to have with Abyss?
The one where the top would come down and all the weapons would hang from
they should do one of those.
Hardcore Rules.
I think that's what it is.
But that's what they need to do. Yes, absolutely. Tommy Dreamer match always has to have a cheese grater in there. So
hey, and if they used it good
properly. Yeah,
they used it well.
Like I said, Tommy Dreamer goes over with the pin on Bully. I think they're both going to go away for a while.
Yeah, that's the plan, to write them off TV for a bit.
But you're going to get a few good feuds out of this. You know, you might get a Kazarian Brian Myers feud. You're going to get the Kelly versus Slamovitch feud.
I think we might get Uemura and Bhupinder tag team for a bit.
Yeah, or Bhupinder versus Moose. Can you imagine, like, if Bhupinder versus Moose and Bhupinder goes over a few times and
it seems like it's a difficult task to get Moose to put anyone over.
Okay.
Oh, Moose's friends are here from the Atlanta Falcons. He's gonna win tonight.
Okay, well, let's do Bhupinder versus Kenny King.
I'll take any of those. Kenny King's actually really good. So
So next we go into our first two main events of the evening. They were making a really big point of this all night, saying that this is the first time in Impact history we're going to be crowning two new champions in the same night, guaranteed. So you have Bert Macklin FBI against Kushida for the vacant Impact World Heavyweight Championship. Big surprise, Nick Aldis makes his return to Impact on commentary.
Yeah, and the first thing I was telling everybody was, if they're smart, they're going to go in full lockup mode. They're going to lock this guy up on a contract.
I think he is.
Aldis. We'll get there at the end of this match. But
yeah, and I think I know where they're going with this.
So immediately what's going to happen, which I'll tell you because I know what's going to happen, was what I wanted, and it's going to happen. So I'm getting pretty excited. Yeah. But so this match is pretty decent. I'm surprised because I don't like
Bert Macklin.
I don't like Bert Macklin, FBI.
But he put on a good match.
Yeah, he's the Chris Pratt of Impact, and it wasn't bad.
For those who watch Parks and Rec, they know the reference.
So, I mean, there's not too much to go deep into this match. Kushida kept getting the hoverboard lock on, but couldn't keep it on.
Finalize it, yeah.
And
which is good storytelling.
And it wasn't like a Weasley win really either. Like, he actually put up a good fight.
Yeah. I think they were also telling the story of Kushida going to the same well one too many times, and it's going to bite him in the end.
I'm just curious to see. Okay, well, let's spoilers.
We already
Steve
spoiled
Macklin
it.
wins.
Yeah, Steve Macklin wins. He is your
but
new
I don't know
Impact.
what you do with Kushida now, man. This was your chance to really just let him cement his career.
I got an idea for Kushida. Kushida and Uemura against Bay and Austin.
But are they even a thing?
No, but
it feels weird to make that a thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Who knows? Let's see. That could be a good team because it could be like a mentoring thing.
Mentoring thing, exactly. Take the young lions, so to speak, to quote, take a New Japan term, take the new lion.
What company is he from?
Is he? I think he is. He's Impact. He is signed to Impact.
He's signed to Impact.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Anyway, so Steve Macklin wins. I was heartbroken as hell.
Yeah.
But when I started to put 2 and 2 together, I realized that he's just getting this championship to make Deanna happy and use him
I was
as
wrong. He's New Japan. He is signed to New Japan.
Okay. So he's the Steve Macklin's win is to make Deanna happy and to have
get her to re-sign.
and to have a transitional champion to go where to Nick Aldis, because Nick Aldis has now officially, I'm pretty sure, signed to Impact. Yep. He gave a speech, and his first order of business was to challenge. He wants the title.
Yeah,
he's here for the title.
Who is Nick Aldis married to?
I don't know. You tell me.
Mickie James.
It's weird.
Right?
But yeah, and we both know that Nick Aldis carried an NWA on his back for a long time, and
he is also really a former Impact World Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm. Guy's a really good wrestler. This is a huge pickup.
He's a national treasure.
If they can find a way to lock up Matt Cardona, Impact's back in business.
Because he's still a free agent right now. He's not anywhere.
And WWE does not want him, and he does not want to go to WWE, apparently, he says.
Yeah.
And apparently Chelsea already wants out. He's the king of the independents.
Yeah. But, a much better match than I was expecting from Macklin.
I'm so excited. I hope PCO gets
even
a
though,
shot.
like you said, we're not happy because that's not what we wanted.
But when we see where it's going, it's like, okay.
Okay, I understand now.
But we didn't realize that going into this, or even really during the match. It was slow towards the end.
Yeah.
And then on their weekly TV, I think they were at Rebel again.
Yeah.
Nick Aldis did that whole thing.
The speech and makes the announcement that he wants.
You got Aldis. If you can lock up Cardona here, if you throw whatever amount of money that Mandy Rose wants at her, Impact is going to be scary.
Yeah. Yeah, because they started the year off slow and they are picking up such steam right now. The fact
their pipeline is deep, man, with Bhupinder, Uemura.
The future for this company,
yeah, there's a lot of really good pieces. Masha just jumped to the forefront. You still have Killer Kelly locked up. Like
you have Kylan King under the wing of
Kylan
Tyler
King
Wilde,
is fresh, brand new. Find a way to lock up Maddie Rankowski before NWA can.
Mm-hmm. You got yourself a solid roster.
And Billy Corgan, this is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You effed up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Next, we have our second main event of the night. Mickie James was not able to compete. We knew this all along. In terms of like Mickie James was just holding on to it for the sake of holding on to it. She didn't want to. She actually thought she was going to be ready in time, but she wasn't. So she she literally forfeited 2 nights prior on the TV show.
Don't want to be that guy. We already had this talk. She's not bad. And to be honest with you, she had probably some of her best matches ever since she's been back. Yeah. However, she is undeserving of being the champion of this company when you have Masha, Jordan, and Deanna, who all deserve.
And now you're gonna throw Kelly into the mix too. Like
Kelly's still got to earn her way there. But yes, I agree. Quality wise, yes. I mean, you could make an argument for Rosemary should have been there a long time ago.
Yeah.
But she got injured, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like really gonna be
a solid, deep. Division.
So going into this match, I was like,
I'm sold already. I'm sold up because both of these women are deserving of the championship.
Super spoilers. I really didn't want Jordan to win again because she's already had it for so long and multiple runs. But I couldn't see what your plan is with Deanna because you don't have a setup feud for her and Masha. But now that we know that Masha is probably going to feud with Kelly for a bit, but what do you do with Jordan? Does Jordan get another shot? Do we really want to see this stupid feud? No, we don't.
So you know how we were saying that they're doing the whole power couple now. Spoiler before we get into the actual match. Deanna Purrazzo goes over. She is your new Impact Knockouts champion, who is married to Steve Macklin. You have Nick Aldis, who is married to Mickie James. I think you already have
mixed tags,
a power couple feud. I think that's where they're going with this.
Smart. That's smart. I'll take that. Because it kind of makes sense too. And let that play out because we're not going to have our boy back for a while.
Yeah.
But when he comes back,
Can
Josh
you
Alexander
imagine
all
a
the way.
Josh versus Aldis match?
That's what I want in life. You know,
I was kind of hoping we would have gotten Josh versus Kushida, but
I want a title for title match.
Mhm.
Josh Alexander versus Zack Sabre Jr. That's what I want. And let Josh Alexander win.
I'll take that.
But he would have to also have won the title back. Oh.
There was a couple pretty crazy. These two women went all out on this match.
Yeah,
Like they hit hard. There was the Jordan Grace did that jackhammer move on the apron.
Yes. But once Jordan started doing the arm was hurting thing, I knew she was going to lose with that as the caveat of why she loses. I knew right away because she was really playing it up. It wasn't like a subtle, like, oh, I'm going to fight through this. I think
she may actually be hurt.
I think she may actually have been hurt. I will agree with that. But I knew that right away. I was like, okay, she's going to lose.
Yeah. I put down, this is the best women's match from a North American company I have seen in I don't know how long.
Did you write it down in our list?
It's already on the list.
Okay, I'm just testing
because I said this could be a match of the year candidate.
Yeah.
It like, you know, the fact that Deonna Purrazzo is the only person now to kick out of the Grace driver.
Yeah.
Is huge. Like it means a lot because that.
And when she hit.
Go ahead.
What's her thing called? Her finisher?
Oh, the Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. It was one shot kill.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's saying a lot.
Yeah, like what a concept. Protect your finishers. So when something like this happens,
what a concept. This woman. I mean, mind you, they've done well in their women's division, but this woman who's deserved this spot for so long finally is back where she belongs
at the top of the card.
And good.
Yeah, I kind of like, the fact that they're going to do that. I'm thinking they're going to go to like this power couple storyline kind of thing, which eventually would lead to Purrazzo versus Mickie James for the title again. And yeah, like, I mean, this was one of the best Impact shows I've ever seen. One of the best shows of the year.
It doesn't need a worst match of the night. It doesn't need a best match of the night.
The whole card from pre-show to the main event,
and it got stacked. It got every match until the 5-way match got better. Every match kept getting better as the card progressed. Because even that jokey match with Morella worked so well.
It was still a good match. It told a great story in the ring. It was such a feel-good story for Morella for the first time in 8 years back in the ring. Like, when everybody thought his career was done, the fact that his son has never seen him wrestle a professional match. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a great story that they were telling. So I rated this one really, really high.
I want to know what your score is.
I gave the show an 8.6.
Jesus, that's the highest score of the year, I think.
I think so. On my end, yeah. I love this show. It was such a good show.
8.1.
8.1?
I didn't think you were going to go that high.
Yeah. 8.6 is my highest. This is on par with Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.7 Wrestle Kingdom. But yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was amazing. I thought it's one of the best pay-per-views of the year so far. But when you said 8.6, that kind of scared me a little bit. I thought my 8.1 was about to shock you.
No. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. There are matches on the show that are like you have a candidate for tag match of the year. You have a candidate for women's match of the year on the show. On the same show.
You also have a candidate for like spectacle match of the year with that hardcore, which is a new thing we're doing. Write that one down. Spectacle match of the year with the
gimmick match.
Yeah, because that was like super fucking entertaining.
But not only did it this show told a great story outside of the ring, but it told a good story inside of the ring, and it kept me entertained for 3.5 hours, which is hard to do these days.
And it's a good, genuinely like. We didn't really like the direction they were going. They've slowly been correcting course again, even though we said it was going to be the year of Impact.
But I think it might still be.
It still might be, and I just want to say that they took all of their people and put 100% effort in this pay-per-view to correct the course and the direction that everything was going and put it back on track. And through all the
And
issues
fast.
they've been
They
having,
did it so fast too.
2 champions are out. Like, you really had to correct course here. You lost Taya Valkyrie. Like, let's go. And they did it.
But the thing is, that's what we were saying about last year too, about Impact. Yes, you're losing pieces, but you're replacing those pieces with younger, fresher talent. You know what I mean? Like, as good as Taya Valkyrie is like 40. She may have
she's not that old.
Oh yeah, she is.
No way. Okay, keep talking. I'll look it up.
Okay, but still, you're replacing them with women that are like in their late 20s.
Crap, she is.
Yeah, I told you. I figured that much. But you're replacing them with younger, like, you still have that veteran presence in like a Taylor Wilde who's like in her mid to late 30s, Rosemary who's like in her late 30s as well. Like, you still have that, and Mickie James obviously, and Gail Kim behind the scenes too. Like, that's why this
Gail Kim is the thing.
The reason why this women's division is so good, because Gail Kim arguably is one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, Canadian wrestlers for sure.
Married to Restaurant Impossible himself, Robert Irvine.
There you go.
Funny story. They met on Dinner Impossible when he did dinner for SummerSlam.
Well, he really likes wrestling, doesn't he?
He is a wrestling fan, yeah. So he's a big fan of William Regal.
Well,
but yeah,
thank you. Thanks for watching, guys.
I recommend you guys go out of your way to watch this entire pay-per-view, beginning to end. Don't just go watch highlights. Watch this pay-per-view. Do yourself a favor. Impact is on a roll. They've announced on this show, 5 shows on this show? They're doing Against All Odds in May. Under Siege in May, Against All Odds in June, Slammiversary in July, and they're doing Multiverse 2, For Whom the Bell Tolls. I love that title.
They're cooking. They're cooking with Crisco.
And fat means flavor. But with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Tune in tomorrow. We will have Capital Collision review for you guys. Not sure if we're going to split it up into 2 or if we're going to do 1. You'll find that out tomorrow night. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. Goodbye and good night.